absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, September 29th, 2025. Tell you what, guys, the month of September has flown by.
Well, I forgot we even had September. I kept saying August and October. I just kind of forgot we even had
Honestly,
September.
this whole year has flown by. It's hard to believe it's already going to be October.
I know.
But I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Marcus Fine, Warren Misery, and Tony Gonzalez. How's it going, guys?
Chris, our teams are in the playoffs. We've got a chance for the World Series, baby.
Yes, yes, that's true. Most definitely, man. You got a chance.
It's been a while since the Reds been in the playoffs. I think 2018, 19.
Yep. I think it's 19. Well, hopefully the Reds and
Tigers
will be
last year.
Tigers got in last year.
I was going to say got in last year.
They hobbled in this year.
Yeah, they did. Man, they was one of the best teams in baseball.
Baseball for most of the
were.
year.
They were the top team for a while, and then something just
and they fell apart. Well,
guys,
just
went over to the Lions. So the Lions football started. So all the Detroit talent went over there. So
yeah, maybe. Well, we're gonna get started. We got a big show. We got a lot planned. We're gonna have a rapid fire with pro wrestling promoter Brandon Wilson. He promotes over in the Kentucky area and maybe some other places. I don't know, but I know the southern part of the area. And then also we got Marcus Fine Wrestling Report as usual. And then we got a special announcement of a tournament that we're going to be doing, and we'll give more information on that after Marcus's report. And I think it's going to be cool thing that we're going to be doing. So Marcus, let's get going.
All right, what's up, David Kraft?
Hey, how's it going,
Okay,
Dave?
I have a lot to cover here, so let's get to it. Okay, on there we got several prayer concerns. I'm not going to tell you what the issues are. They just need to be on a prayer list. Cousin Cooter, Alex Riot, they wrestle at JICW. Cameron Saturn, of course, WCWO. Bobby Blade, our guest from last week. Damon Reel. Hannah. Hannah is the daughter of Ref Luigi and Ref Angel at WCWO. Pray for her, like right now. She needs that. Max Sterling and Hank Calhoun's son. So that's who I had on the prayer list this week. And if you need prayers to you. Okay, birthdays. We need to do a belated birthday for the security guard, John from WCWO, whose birthday was last week. That's the name I could not read off my list. And was like, oh, who the heck's that? Well, because I couldn't read my writing. So John's a very important part of setup, tear down, and security.
You can't forget about John, man.
Oh, I know. And then once I read that, I thought, I've got to say something. So, okay. And then this week we got AACW Tag Team Champion Bob Steele's birthday is tomorrow. My good buddy Ivar the Micro's birthday is on Wednesday. Jake Elliott's birthday is on Thursday. And WCWO Superfan's birthday, his name's Clayton. He's at most of the dub shows. His birthday's on Friday. And Dylan Watson's birthday's on Friday. And Dylan Watson is the brother of the other half of the AACW Tag Team Champions, Cody Leaks. So happy birthday to all them. And then I talked to Tony a little bit earlier, and he said it was okay. We're going to do a little remembrance right now as one half of the founding fathers of this actual podcast, Eric Gonzalez's birthday would have been on Wednesday. We sadly lost him a couple of years ago now, I'm thinking. If it wasn't for Eric and Chris, you would not be seeing us do this every week like we do. So, Eric, you're thought of today, and you're missed, brother. So, okay. I'm winding down on the shirts of the week.
We still use the banner that Eric made at our road shows.
Yeah. Yes. So that came up, and I asked Tony if it'd be all right, and he said, yeah. So, yeah, without Eric and Chris, we wouldn't be here every week. So, okay. shirt of the week. We're running low on these. Probably about another month, and then we're going into a different segment.
Oh, if I had known it was this shirt, I wouldn't have zoomed in on it.
Yep,
Hey, I like
James
that
Gag shirt. This is the James Gag shirt. These can be bought at the Dub or anywhere Jordan James is on location. I believe these are $25 a piece. They come in black. I think this shirt only comes in black. He also has these Jordan James shirts he has several colors of it, but these are $25 a piece. Again, anywhere you see Jordan James, he will have these shirts. So, okay.
One of the better tag teams around, or faction, whatever you want to call them. But I actually have one, the Jordan James shirt. I wear it quite a bit. Yeah, but both them guys are really good.
Yeah, they are, and I guess Skull Crusher's all right too. I mean, he hangs with him. So
You can get Skull Crusher's head too big, Al.
Well, that's true.
Skull Crusher's got a big head. So, okay, I have tons and tons of results. I want to do the shows I was not at first, as I have made statements that this was a weekend chock full of fantastic wrestling, that I've seen 3 awesome shows. I wish I could be in 4 or 5 different locations, because I've seen a lot of great wrestling this weekend, but I also missed a lot of great wrestling this weekend because I can't be everywhere at once. And there was a ton of stuff going on in Indiana. And I'm sure once Brandon comes in, he's going to tell you that Kentucky also was a hotbed this weekend. So, all right, here we go. Thanks to our good buddy Alex Bolton for these results. FEW Supremacy that took place in Greenfield, Indiana, Saturday the 27th. This was that tournament for that new title. In the first match, it was Mikey Jenkins, JT Kirk, Matthew Grant, Crystal Moon, and Matthew Grant won that one. Round 2, PD Skills, Mike Noble, Hank Calhoun, and Colby Jack, and PD Skills won that one. He had Tony Thunder, Ricky Guns, and some guy named Tom, and I don't know, he must not know his last name, but Ricky Guns won that one and moves on. Bird, Book Hemingway, and Knox, and again, he must have lost the last name. Bird wins that one. Then we go to the next round, Matthew Grant versus PD Skills. Matthew Grant escapes with the win and moves on. Ricky Guns versus Bird. Bird wins via DQ after referee caught Ricky using a weapon. After the match, Ricky had Book beat down Bird, and Matthew Grant come in to make the save. Both men agreed to continue the finals right then. And then, so in the match between Bird and Matthew Grant wins the inaugural FEW North American Championship. And after all that, the main event saw Matt Diesel versus Ashton Adonis for the FEW heavyweight title. Matt Diesel pins Ashton Adonis. However, FEW owner Alex Bolton comes out and apologized to Matt and the fans of FEW, and the commissioner Mark House ordered that the match restarted due to Ashton's shoulder being up as seen on the live stream. And then Ashton hits the knee shot and pins Matt Diesel to retain the championship. So I do not know what the crowd count was, but that sounds like a pretty good card there in Greenfield.
Who was doing the live stream?
I don't know. I absolutely do not know. So, okay, now WCW was literally everywhere on the weekend. First off, these are the results from the shows that took place down at Lucas Oil Stadium. These are thanks to my good buddy Wes Ryan. WCWO in front of Lucas Oil Stadium on Saturday. Show 1 saw Slaughterhouse. Okay, now I got to read these the way he wrote them out. In the match between Slaughterhouse and Waterboy and CJ Cyclone and Waterboy won that. Eric Onyx defeated Kurt Busse. Oso Pierce defeated Troy Valentine. Phoenix defeated Scorpion to retain the WCWO territorial title. And Cameron Saturn defeated Mike Noble. ZJK defeated IK3. Mark Magnus and Zach Nova defeated Christian Cash and Calvin Coco. And the main event saw Maliko defeat Andre Stray to retain the Gunslinger title. Then show 2. Mark Magnus defeated Zach Nova. Andre Stray defeated Oso Pierce. Troy Valentine defeated Cameron Saturn. Kurt Busse defeated Scorpion. IK3 defeated Eric Onyx. Maliko defeated Calvin Coco to retain the WCWO Gunslinger title. And then I guess Calvin Coco wanted more, so then Calvin and Andre Stray defeated Maliko and IK3. That must have been a match set up afterwards. And then a battle royal with everyone, including JKO, saw Andre Stray win that. So that was the shows that took place at Lucas Oil Stadium. Then, thanks to Will Cummings for the 2 days worth of results from WCWO at the Turning Leaves Festival in Thorntown, Indiana. On day one, Saturday the 27th, show one saw Will Asher defeat Billy Palmer to advance to the festival championship. Jackson Morgan defeated CJ Cyclone. He advanced. Then Waterboy defeated Kenneth James. Max Sterling defeated a Russian with another Russian interfering, with Will Asher making the save. Okay. Show two on Saturday. CJ Cyclone defeated Phoenix. He advanced in the tournament. And then he said Jackson Morgan and Will Asher defeated Kurt Busse and Eric Onyx. Okay, I see what he said. And then Jackson Morgan viciously attacked Will Asher. Billy Palmer defeated Max Sterling to advance in the tournament. In a rematch from the first show, Kenneth James defeated Waterboy. And then some of these don't make sense. It seems like some of these matches repeated themselves. But show three saw Will Asher defeat Billy Palmer to once again advance in the finals. Jackson Morgan defeated CJ Cyclone to once again advance in the tournament. Kent James defeated Timmy Turner, and the main event saw Will Asher defeat Jackson Morgan to win the inaugural Turning of the Leaves Championship. Then on night, or actually it was day two, WCW at the Turning of the Leaves Festival, day two on Sunday the 28th. Jackson Morgan defeated Waterboy. Andre Stray and Cousin Cooter defeated Billy Palmer, Kurt Busse, and Eric Onyx in a handicap match. Phoenix defeated CJ Cyclone, retained the territorial title. Maliko defeated Mark Magnus, retained the Gunslinger title. And Will Asher defeated Mike Noble to retain the Turning Leaves title. Okay. Now I got to get a drink before I start on the shows.
Give him some oxygen.
You gotta have a little drink of whiskey before he goes on.
Oh, yeah. Jared drank all that yesterday. But anyhow. Okay, Kelly and I was back on the road this weekend for our first triple threat and maybe one of our last triple threats for the year. We saw three very outstanding shows this weekend. Started out Friday at the Dub, WCWO's month-end supercard Shockwave at the Outlaw Arena on Friday. Phoenix defeated Will Asher. He retained the WCW territorial title. In an upset, Billy Palmer defeated Jackson Morgan in a strap-on-a-pole match. My match of the night, Zay Gates defeated David Light in a street fight. Damian Real defeated ZJK. Max Sterling and Scorpion defeated Kurt Busse and CJ Cyclone. Zach Nova defeated, Pharaoh King, Timmy Jackson, Pogo, Eric Onyx, Troy Valentine, Kenneth James, Waterboy, and Oso Pierce to become the number one contender for the territorial title. Maliko defeated Calvin Coco and Cameron Saturn in a triple threat. He retained the Gunslinger title. And Jordan James with Skull Crusher defeated Mike Noble and Mark Magnus in a triple threat. He retains the Outlaw title. Then Kelly and I was in JICW for the final Austin Fury Memorial Show. They will not run anymore after this year. That is the wishes of the family. So JICW's You're Not Alone, Martinsville, Indiana, Saturday the 27th. Wade Evans defeated Alex Riot via submission. The Workhorses defeated Fago Freaks. They became the new JICW Tag Team Champions. Day Jamison defeated Brandon Valor. He became the new JICW Cruiserweight title holder. Johnny Scratch defeated Brent Myers. He retained the JICW Openweight title. Tate Manson and CFR defeated Cousin Cooter and Scarecrow. Christian Cash defeated Ace Anderson. This is a different Ace Anderson than the NGW Ace Anderson. This is a whole different person. And in the main event of my match of the night, King Fury defeated Jared Kripke, Nick Diamond, and Excalibur. He became the final Austin Fury Memorial Champion. Then Kelly, I, and Warren was at Warrior Pro 48 for their 4-year anniversary show yesterday afternoon, I guess. Danville, Indiana, Sunday the 28th. Drew Kritzer won a battle royal to become the number one contender for the Warrior Pride title. And surprisingly, the last person he eliminated was the current Warrior Pride champion, Jeremy Hadley, who was playing Jiu-Jitsu and ended up being Jeremy Hadley under the hood. Elijah Arrows defeated Jared Kripke. That's one of my matches of the night. In fact, that was one of my matches of the day. Ashton Steele defeated Parker Sexton via submission. Hang on a minute. take on Kelly's cough drops. The Buck Sexton and Dylan Dynamite defeated Scarecrow and Saron via DQ. They retained the titles. Just Jet defeated Pharaoh King. Then Jeremy Hagley defeated Drew Kitzer with his feet on the ropes. He retained the Warrior Pride title. Scorpion and Dan Burnell defeated Cecil and T.Y. Ice. And in my second match of the day, Jesse Winchester defeated JB in a title versus career match. He retained the title, and JP had to remove his boots and retired. What made this match one of my matches of the night was sitting directly to the right of me, Warren, and Kelly was probably a dozen of JB's students. Those kids were going nuts for him when he was wrestling, and that made this match just as good. Funny thing is, one of them little kids was in there doing the Rocky theme, and he didn't stop the first verse. He just kept going. But it was just a fantastic day. Warrior Pro, JSCW, WCWO, fantastic shows. I just wish I could have been at the others, but only be in one place at one time. So,
yeah, most definitely. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Warren. You give us your take.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the show was awesome. I mean, they packed the house. They brought him in, and they didn't disappoint. I mean, that's I think that's the best way to put this. They didn't disappoint at all. I think everyone left that show feeling some kind of way. And yeah, the kids to the right of us were great. They were into a lot of the guys that were in there. They were cheering on. My two matches. I mean, one of my matches for as far as most entertaining match was Drew versus Hadley. And from what I did hear, so the Drew is the Brownsburg, the guy, I don't know if he's a wrestling coach at Brownsburg, whatever, but dude's only been training for 6 months. And to go against Hadley and he took him to the limit, and it was a very entertaining match by both of them. It's definitely the most entertaining match. And I know some people watch AEW. Tony, to give you an idea of this Drew guy, he gave me Hook vibes with the way he was. He had that, the wrestling background, just sort of that little cool calm in the ring. But my technical wrestling match tonight was definitely Kripke versus Arrows. They put on a really good wrestling clinic with a lot of the stuff they did, but it was a ton of fun. It was a great 4-year anniversary. Hopefully we get to see a 5th year, and they set the bar for that. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe me and Chris has both seen the gentleman from Brownsburg wrestle before. He wrestled at high school at Brownsburg. Was a pretty good wrestler. Named Drew.
Kreitzer.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've seen him before, Chris. I remember the name, so I'm pretty sure we've seen him. So, and it don't surprise me that he'll probably end up being a good one if he stays with it. He could be a standout wrestler for World Pro Wrestling.
Well, if they announced it, didn't they announce that the main event for the next show is going to be Hagley and that guy for the Warrior Pride title as the main event? I thought was said at the end of the night.
Was it? Yeah.
I think so. And again, I'm sorry, WPW, I just set you up for your main event, I guess. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
Marcus is booking the show now.
But you better make sure you run that past Jesse. He might try to change it up. So,
but just watching those kids, I mean, the fans were like Kokomo fans. That crowd was nuts.
Is somebody talking shit about WPW? I see people online defending WPW. Why are we defending WPW about?
I have no idea. I have not heard anything about that. I don't know. I seen that earlier.
Yeah, I was just wondering because, when we have a vehicle, we're usually at the shows. You guys are at the shows.
Oh, and you guys was missed, Chris. Steven at JICW was sad that you guys wasn't there to record, and Buck made a statement that he was sad you wasn't there as well. So you guys are missed out in the field. So
yeah,
we're glad to get you guys back out there.
It's not easy for Marcus and I to do commentary sitting in the crowd. So
we do commentary, but nobody hears it except the people around us.
I mean, the only good thing about it is Marcus and I can continue to talk and not have to Chris, mute it. Chris, are we muted? What's going on?
What? Everybody looking in the audience. So what these two guys standing over talking to themselves for?
I think there was a couple people that looked at us a couple times.
Yeah, we can pound on the table all we want to. We can tell other people all we want to and not have
Yeah.
Chris yell at us about it. So
But I mean, yeah, except another funny part was that at the end when Buck was in the ring and all the wrestlers came out for JB, that Rocky kid was like, "Can I say something?" And Buck was quick to say, "You've already said enough in this show," because that kid was going and going. I mean,
and he was the smallest of the two. He was a little guy.
Tony, you may it's and
What's
Mark,
up, Alex?
the kid from the Bad News Bears, Tanner from the Bad News
Tanner,
Bears.
yeah.
Is that exactly?
That's good. That's a good one.
And yeah, I mean, and you had Dan, the country guy. He had his little group there, and there was kids on the other side. And I mean, honestly, it was really, really cool to see that you had families there, and that's what was really super cool about it too. Is it wasn't just some guys here and a couple people. It was families all together and kids, and everyone was into it. And I mean, honestly, I think if any of the talent is watching this, you guys did great jobs with the crowd interactions. Great jobs. I mean, you kept them in it, you kept them going, and yeah, it was. I'm not kissing butt because I'm the former GM, but it was a really great show, and they did an amazing job.
Yeah, and they even changed the entranceway to put more chairs out. So they came out those side doors next to the stage.
Front row was sold out. Front row was sold out they had 68 pre-sales, easily 100 plus there. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Indiana's got a lot of good independent wrestling. If you haven't never checked out independent wrestling, look in your area. You probably find something close, and you'll be entertained for the price you're going to pay for the tickets. And if you got kids, take your kids. They'll have a good time. So, congratulations.
Didn't a teacher and some kids come to watch Jay Beeves' last match as well?
Yeah, he had his own fan club on our side. That was the kids.
I saw a post. A guy that teaches like in the room next to him had made a post that him and some kids and stuff were going to that show because he found out that the teacher in the room next to him was a professional wrestler, and now he's getting ready to have his last match.
Yeah. And we want to wish our best to Jay Beeve. He's got a position in a different school than he did last time we knew, and he wants to really just focus on he's teaching these kids. Wrestling was a hobby, but now he's going off to better things. So I tried to get him to do one more Beaver Boy reunion match, but he wasn't in for it. So he doesn't know how to get a hold of Dutch. So
We'll miss the Beaver Boys, that's for sure. Congratulations to World Pro Wrestling on the 4th year anniversary. Congratulations to all the shows. Sound like I had a lot of successful, good shows here in Indiana. That's always a good thing. Again, check out your independent shows. Got a little bit of special announcement. We got something that's going to be starting October 6th on a Monday. It's called Promo Battle Tournament. And we've already got our 8 competitors that's going to compete in this thing. 4 will compete on the 6th. The next 4 will compete on the 13th. The fans, you guys will vote on what promo you like the better. And the subject of the promo for all 8 guys is going to be the same thing for the first round. And that's going to be GWR. They get the promo on us. The winner from the October 6th will be one winner. One winner from October 13th will face off probably on the 20th. I haven't confirmed that date, or maybe it could be the week after that, 27th. We'll set that up, and they'll promo battle against each other to be the first promo battle tournament champion. And then we will continue this on and do other tournaments, and this person will have a chance to defend his championship. So I'll name off the combatants or contestants here, and then I'm going to do a draw who's going to be in the first round and for the first week and who's going to be in the second week. Christian Cash, Buck Sexton, Jarrett Kripke, Jordan James, Bob Steele, Brody Botkins, Nerd, and Mike Noble are the 8 contestants. I'm going to do the draw right now. The first one I'll draw out will be for October 6th. The first 4 will be for October 6th. The last 4 will be for the 13th. First name that I drawed out is Jordan James. Contestant number 2 for that first week will be Bob Steele.
Well, I'd like to see Bob Steele and Jordan James wrestle each other. I just threw
Yeah.
that out.
Oh, number 3, Nerd.
Oh boy.
And the last one for that first round. Open this up. It's smart enough to open. Christian Cash.
Whoa.
Now the two winners actually will be promoing against each other.
Yes.
For the
Yeah,
winner
the
week 1, week
winner
2,
from-
they won't be
winner
doing
from
they'll be
October
doing each other.
So that means, and the other one, we have Buck Sexton. Jared Kripke. Mike Noble. And Brody Botkins. They will be the ones who will compete on the 13th of October. First week will be October 6th. And again, that's Jordan James, Bob Steele, Nerd, and Christian. What do you guys think about that draw, guys?
It's gonna be some fun. Yeah.
And they have, the rule is they have 60 seconds or less, their promo on us, GWR, and then it'll be the same rule when they promo against each other when we get down to the final 2. So the first war will go, and fans will vote. Chris will put up a thing where people can vote. Probably for about a week or so they can vote, and then we'll take it down and announce the winner. And the only one winner from the first side, one winner from the next week, and them two will face off to be the champion. And then probably what we'll do after that is maybe a couple weeks later, 2-3 weeks later, we'll set up 4 guys. They will compete and then see who wins that, and they will take on our champion. So our champion will defend as long as he's willing to. That's the plans. We also got a new thing coming, which we're still working on. It's going to be a pro wrestling spotlight, and we're going to start featuring that every week or every 2 weeks. We haven't got that all set up yet, but this will be like a 3-minute segment where the wrestler will have a chance to tell him about himself, and anything he wants to say, basically, and put himself over and put himself out there for everybody to know about, and possibly bookers or fans or however that gentleman wants to do it, or female.
I'll say or female.
Yeah.
Yes, or female.
Ladies.
So we're going to start this very soon. And if you're interested in this, you can contact me, Chris, Warren, Marcus, and we're going to be doing videos of that and then airing them. And probably on a week or every 2 week basis. We're working on that still. And there's some new stuff we're trying to bring more interest to Indiana or any state. I mean, we're doing a lot of stuff with Kentucky also now. So, and hopefully we're going to branch out there. We're going to branch out to Illinois and eventually too, and get a lot of names out there for people to check out.
Bolton's already calling it. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm one that's taking wagers already.
Let me ask you guys: Do you out of these 8 names? Jordan James, Bob Steele, Nerd, Christian, Buck Sexton, Jared Kripke, Mike Noble, Brody Botkins. Do you guys have a favorite that you think might win this thing?
I'm not doing a comment. I don't want Christian Cash calling me up tomorrow.
Yeah, no kidding.
It should be interesting.
It's going to be. I mean, if all these guys do the 110% like we know they can do, it's going to be something. And remember, guys, it's the fans' vote, not us.
Yeah. We're allowed to put a vote in, just like the fans. Just one vote, just like the fans.
I'm not involved in any tiebreakers. I'm gonna remove myself right away.
I'll tell you right now, man. That first one, but both of them are loaded. But that first one's really loaded, and the second one too, man. Because I know Kripke can do it, Sexton could do it, Noble, Botkins. I've seen Botkins basically one time at World Pro with a promo he did, basically steal the show as far as I was concerned.
My question is, are you guys ready for the things that they're about to say about us? Because that's going to be the fun part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm ready. I know I'm going to be one of them. I'm sure I'm going to hear midget and dwarf and a lot of stuff. I'm okay with that. But it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Chris, have our special guest looked in yet?
Yep.
Well,
Okay,
do
so
you
he's
guys
trying
have,
to get in. So I mean, hang on,
okay,
Chris. So,
do you guys have anything before we move on?
What'd you say, Marcus?
I said he just PM'd me. I said, hang on, Chris. We'll click you in here in a minute.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you.
If you've
Sorry.
seen it. So, no, I think I covered literally everything that there is to cover for a while. So,
Okay. Yeah, we had a lot, man. That was a lot. And sounded like a lot of good wrestling. Sounded like FEW had a good show. Sounded like a lot of people had a good show. That's awesome.
Warren, did you have anything else?
Not indie related, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, no. It was a fun weekend. So yeah, and Monday Night Football kicks off at 8. Chris, I heard what you said last week, and I heard what our special guest said last week too. I'm not dodging anyone either.
What was it? Was it 8 tonight or 7?
Well, last Monday it was 8 o'clock when the Lions kicked. Actually,
He's talking about last week. I said that's why he wasn't.
Yeah.
I said that's why he wasn't on the show because he was getting ready for that Lions game. And they played good.
He ain't denied it.
I was working. I had overtime. Working on that 6-pack.
Was you off in time to watch the game?
I 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's usually 7:30 is when I get done. So I mean, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, when the show was over, then he got done. Well, guys, let's bring in our guest and get this going. We'll bring in Mr. Brandon Wilson. Hello, Brandon. Can you hear us?
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing good. Excited to have you on. This is promoter Brandon Wilson. And how this works is Marcus will go first with his question, then Warren second, me third. Chris will go last, and then we'll go about 20, 25 minutes or so.
That sounds good. Great to be here. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, yeah, appreciate you.
Kelly's off site, but she will chime in a few questions too. So,
all right, Marcus.
All right. Well, Brandon, thank you very much for doing this. This is my team here, Tony, Chris, and Warren. Glad to have you on. So, Brandon and I have known each other for 5 years, maybe. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, roughly, yes.
So, okay. When did you first get interested in professional wrestling?
Oh, Lord. Long time. Ever since I was a kid, I guess probably the first matches I remember is in the mid-'80s. Sitting around my grandmother's house. She was a big fan of it, and she weighed about 90 pounds, but she'd get down in the floor cussing the wrestlers. It was awful. And she never did care for the bad guys too much. And, I always liked them pretty well, even when I was younger. So.
Kind of sounds like my grandma cussing the TV.
All our grandparents, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
yeah, I just always found it kind of funny to see her down there doing that. It was funny. So.
I've noticed a lot of the wrestlers we've had on, a lot of them has been with their watching wrestling with their grandparents. I've got a lot of wrestlers, promoters, whoever, I guess they said most of them some of them has been their parents, but a lot of them has been grandparents, I've noticed. Warren?
all right, yeah, I'm gonna give you a time machine, a front row center ticket to any wrestling event in the history of time. Where would you want to go?
Oh, Lord, that's a tough one. I barely remember Starrcade '86. I mean, I remember it well enough, but if I could go see that, that would probably be that or '83, Starrcade '83. I'd probably do that one. But, they also got the Steamboat and Flair best of 3 fall match. It'd be one of those 3, but I'd probably pick Starrcade '83. I'm a huge Harley Race and Ric Flair fan, so I always liked Harley Race very well too. So.
My question is best show you've ever promoted.
The best show?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm a little biased on that. It's probably every one of them, in my opinion. But, well, anyone that Marcus comes to, I mean, that's always a big spot of brightness. I mean, I always love having him, and he always takes great pictures. It usually doesn't cost me a dime other than letting him, have a front row seat, which I'm very glad to let him have. But we done a show for a university here in Kentucky back last February, and we really enjoyed doing that. And we're already signed up for next year to do it again. And then we also done Gonzo'S, the Shriners. They raise money for children, which I'm very honored to say. I become a Gonzo'S Shriner Saturday, so I'm part of that group now. But they hired us to come in to do a show to raise money for the Gonzo'S charities, the Gonzo'S Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky. But I've got it for probably the next 5 years, it seems like, at least. So, well, we're making some pretty good moves, good contracts, and just planning shows ahead. And I apologize if I keep looking off. I'm driving, so I apologize in advance.
Okay, Chris.
Well, before I do my question, we have a Kelly's question real quick.
You better read it. So you
Kelly
better
wants
read
to know who your favorite super fan is, Kelly or Marcus?
Well, Marcus, unfortunately, you know how I'm going to have to answer this, okay? All right, so definitely Kelly. Kelly, hands down, without a doubt. So, but we love Marcus.
I have 5 wins, and my losses are, I think, in 4 digits now. So
that's not a bad thing.
My question is going to be is, what is the name of your wrestling promotion, and do you promote anywhere else besides Kentucky, or do you guys just do all your shows in the Kentucky area?
Oh Lord, we'll promote any and everywhere. Like, well, I try not to run into people's territory and stuff. I'm very respectful of that. If I'm doing a one-off show, that's another thing altogether. Like, we done a couple Nashville shows last 3 or 4 years. We've done a couple of those festivals. We've been in Tennessee quite a bit. We've done some stuff in Indiana, a couple in Illinois. But it's mostly Kentucky based. I had somebody in Georgia, South Georgia, that was wanting me to come down to do a festival almost all the way down to Florida. And I said, guys, I just don't know if it'd be conducive for your budget to do that. I mean, I'm more than willing if you're willing to pay for it, but I just don't see it. But the name of my promotion is Triple Crown Wrestling. So,
when you guys run in Indiana, what part of Indiana you guys run in?
Well, we run under a different name up there because I'm partners with another company. I'm going to leave that one out right now, but it's in the southern Indiana area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you're probably going to see a little bit more of them coming up. So,
Marcus.
Okay, so tell us how Triple Crown Wrestling come about. What year and how did that form?
Well, my wife has a whole different story than what I do. She says it didn't work out this way, but this is exactly 100% the truth, the way it worked out. So if she ever tells you anything different, she's fibbing, okay? So, I'm not going to get too deep in my wrestling past, but I'd left wrestling in 04, 05, something like that. And I got into politics, and I got into, I'd always been in management stuff, but I was gone for about 16 years and I hadn't thought about it. I don't watch it on TV. I don't technically even enjoy wrestling the way it is now, other than independence. I love independent wrestling. But after about 2000, I actually stopped watching wrestling after about 2000 because I just didn't enjoy it anymore. Plus, that's when I was starting to, do a little bit of stuff in wrestling, and I just didn't want to copy over. But I'd left in 2004, 2005, I can't remember, and I met my wife in 2004 in December. My wife is not a wrestling fan at all, zero, and she'll flat out tell you that. Now, she doesn't hate that I do it, it's just that she's just not a fan. She says she's not a fan, but I think it's getting to her now. But so I had this buddy. He comes into my regular work one day, and I hadn't seen him for a while. And he walks in. He's like, "Hey, man." He's like, "Where you do all this management stuff, politics, it ain't that much different. I wouldn't guess to manage a retail like a wrestling company would it be?" I was like, "I wouldn't figure that it would be." He said, "Why don't you help us build this company?" And I said, "Well, all right." So I helped him because he's my friend, and helped him for about 8 months. And the owner, I guess I could say this now, but the owner of that entire 8 months, every time I'd say something, we was in the middle of COVID, so they wasn't running shows at all. And but every time I'd suggest something to him for social media, get some promos out, get some promotional stuff, it was like going in one ear out the other. And he just never would take the advice. And I was always wondering why he wouldn't take the advice, even though he brought me in to do this, paying me, And I figured it out later that he'd lost his promoter's license in the state of Kentucky. I don't think that's going to renew him. I might be totally off on that, but I think that's what it was. And that's why he never got started back up. But after about 8 months, he calls me and he said, "Why don't you just buy this company?" And I was like, "I have no business whatsoever getting back in the wrestling business. It wasn't even on my radar. I was just helping a buddy out." And he said, "Well, I'm going to sell it to you for this." And it was cheap, very cheap, very cheap. And I called my wife, and this is where she has a different version of the story. But I told her, and I thought she was going to be my saving grace, the person to tell me, "No, you're not getting back in the wrestling business." And she goes, "Well, I think it's a great idea." I was like, "What?" So it kind of threw me off. I was like, "Oh my gosh." And it was, I think the amount of money that I paid for it's what really got her, or that they was asking to pay for me to pay. And she's like, "I think it's a great idea." So that was around about 2020, I think. I bought in August. Let me try to remember this. Her birthday's the 9th. Our anniversary is the 11th. I bought it on August 10th. So of 2020. I started building it after that, and didn't have a name. It had their name, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a fan of their name, and wasn't a fan of their belts, wasn't a fan of the championships. Not trying to trash them, that ain't what I'm getting at. But I knew I had to remarket what I had. So I scrapped the name, I scrapped the belts, give the current champions the belts that here's a present from me. I don't even want them. And so I killed that lineage and started fresh. And my little boy, I'm sitting here thinking of names to call it, and he was like 8 at the time, and he's all time hearing me talk about a Triple Crown championship. And being from Kentucky, we got the Triple Crown horse racing and all, the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks and all that. So it kind of fit in with Kentucky. Plus, I'm a big baseball fan, and I love seeing whenever baseball people win the Triple Crown. So I'm all the time going on and on and on about this, and I ended up having a Triple Crown championship too that I always had in my mind from 20 years ago that me and my friend we'd always talk about. And so my little boy said, "Well, why not just name it Triple Crown Wrestling?" And there it is. That's how the name come about. And we started building off of that and started, getting some stuff going, bought new belts. I draw my own belts, draw the designs for them, have them made. They look pretty good. And, July 21st, I believe, if I'm remembering right. No, it's 28th maybe. July 28th was our first event, and we actually run it in Tennessee and done very well down there near Knoxville. And then we started running just different places in Kentucky. We mainly run in Kentucky, but we run a couple different promotions and share talent. And we just have a nice little territory, I guess you'd say, started up. And a couple people that I can't thank enough is people like Terry England. He owns Ultimate Championship Wrestling, and Jimmy Walls, he owns USWF, and Kyle Maggard and all them guys, and Randall Shane. Jimmy and Terry, people called me and they said, "How in the world did you get in with basically two of the biggest buttholes in the business, which they are. Love them to death, but they are. And they said, how they let you, in? And I was like, well, I don't know. I guess just persuasion. But no, me and Terry and Jimmy's been friends for a long time. And but they're tough. They're tough. But that's who I want to be around. And I've sat back and watch. I mean, I've had a few businesses, but I've never promoted wrestling. I was in wrestling for a brief blink of an eye, but I surely didn't 100% know how to do it. But I know enough to shut up and listen for a while. But when I was in wrestling originally, the production side of it always kind of grabbed me a little bit, and I always thought, hey, this is probably what I want to do. And lo and behold, this is what ended up coming along. But I can't thank Terry England enough. I mean, he's right there beside me on everything, and Jimmy, he's there too. And so it's just been a little bit of a journey, and we've run since 21. We're in 25 now, so we've done pretty well. It's getting to where the shows are just almost just coming back all the time. People having us back, and so that's a pretty good feeling. They trust in us enough to keep booking us, I guess.
Okay, Warren?
Yeah, I understand the whole wife thing with the wrestling mind. Whenever I say I got a show to go do, the first things out of her mouth is there alcohol there? But I know she uses that as a guise, and she really wants to go and watch. But,
yes, right there.
if what storyline or like a match that you saw happen that you would have liked to see different? Like, what would you change in a certain storyline or a match if you were in charge of any match? Like, what would you change?
We talking like big stuff or past stuff?
Yeah, big time.
Oh Lord, where I don't watch it, I'll be honest with you. It's very tough for me to actually answer that question deeply, I guess. But one of the well, I probably shouldn't say that either. I better not say that. But because it's just not a good thing to say. But I don't know. One thing I'd like to have seen, and I'm about to be a big enemy of everybody, but that's okay because that's what I'm kind of the bad guy anyway. But one thing I would have liked to have seen, if I could have done some fantasy booking, I guess, from the past, I would have really liked to have seen if I could have plugged somebody else in the Steve Austin thing and see how well they could have done with it. Because I'm a big thinker that was a ready-made role for somebody, and it didn't necessarily have to be Steve Austin. It could have been multitudes of people, and I think several people could have done as good, if not better. So, but I'm probably on the fringe on that. That's just me thinking, though. So.
That's why I ask those kind of questions. I like to get those kind of answers. That it's a fresh thought, it's a fresh thing, and it makes people talk and think. So
yeah. So there ain't nothing against Steve Austin. He's a good talent and stuff, but I think it's a ready-made position for somebody, and he done well with it. Done very well with it. But it'd been good to see what somebody else could have done with it.
Favorite venue or town you have promoted in?
Well, our home base, we base ourselves out of Somerset, Ferguson, Kentucky. Marcus has been there. There's just a feel to that old gym that it's just old school. And I brought Bushwhacker Luke in back in 22, I think, and they used to do shows there back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, I think what he said. But he said he hadn't been in that gym in a while, but he said he always loved wrestling in there. It's just the aesthetics are very good. It's just that old feel. The city of Ferguson is very good to us. I'm very interested in helping them do whatever they need to do. Try to take care of them. We take care of the gym. They do us well. So I can't. That's probably my favorite venue because I run it so much, and there's no problems ever. Like the easiest people in the world. It isn't like going to some of these fairs and dealing with some of the little chieftains think that that's just the end all say all of everything. And a lot of the county fairs are great, but there's some of them. My home county, I'm not going to say the county, but I'm going to say it. They're they didn't treat me very well, even though I discounted the show and give it to them pretty much at cost. But I told them I won't ever come back in there because they promised a lot of stuff that they just didn't do. And then they try to book it. Well, they did. They end up booking another organization there the next year because that's just what they do, and that's okay. So I don't owe them anything, and if they end up wanting to book me, they'll pay me what they paid that other organization. So that's just how it is. But that's probably my worst venue that I ever run, which I'm not going to say that name either. But Campbellsville University, I like that venue very well. They treated us well, and it was once again the old school filling gym. They still have their old gym from the old university there. So it was very nice, very nice. And of course, we done Gonzo'S up in Louisville at the Gonzo'S Shrine. God bless, we had a ball there. They treated us well. Marcus, you should have been there, man. They literally had people walking around to the staff and the boys and girls, and they'd come take their order, drink orders, food orders, whatever. And I remember one of my people, she goes, "How in the heck did you manage roping this?" She's like, "I have never been treated this well, even on national TV." And I was like, "Hey, that's what I do. You know that." Of course, I didn't know they was going to do that, but I had to take credit for it. That's what I do. But it is a good time.
How often do you guys run shows, and what has been the hardest thing about getting your promotion up and going?
The up and going wasn't really the hard part. It was keeping it going. Some of the biggest problems that I have is self-promotion. And I'm not trying to hit any of the boys at all, but it's just a new age, I get websites, just all that. Lord, it's untelling what we'd have done. It's untelling. And, as a promoter, I'm sitting here trying to push all this stuff the best that I can, putting the money out, trying to get people to the venue. But the guys, they try, they do, but I just don't think some of them 100% understand the importance of promoting themselves or the ability. I don't know if they actually have the ability or the know-how to promote themselves. That's I think the biggest deal, and that's not a bad thing on them. It's just you just don't know. I mean, I'm one of these guys. I'm all the time trying to teach, but whenever you got 100+ people coming in and out all the time, it's hard to just say, "Here, I'm going to pull you off the side and show you how to do this." And it's an art that you have to learn how to do. So I say that's the biggest thing in wrestling right now. That if I could suggest to anybody, I don't care if you're a manager, I don't care if you're a wrestler, I don't care what you're doing, promoting yourself and promoting the show. If you want butts in the seats, you got to literally help that promoter have a reason to have those butts in the seat. I mean, I can promote Triple Crown Wrestling all day long. I put big buy ads behind it, and yes, they're going to come, but it only goes a certain way. I mean, I could throw somebody's picture up on a poster, and it looks good, but if that person doesn't promote themselves and say, "Hey, I'm going to be blah, blah, blah," then if they're not excited about it, why should their fans be excited about it?
Yep.
And I missed a question. You'd asked another question, and I forgot what it was. I'll answer part B of that.
Yeah, it was how often do you guys run shows?
Okay. Yeah, so we try to do at least a monthly show, at least one time. But Lord, during fair season, we do bunches. And I try not. I'm getting where I'm trying not to book over 2 to 3 a month now. But that's usually the average, it seems like. Going in the fall, we kind of going out of the fair season and the festival season, we kind of cut back. We've got some big shows coming, but my main show, that's where Ferguson comes back in. We run it from September to April every year. And then in the summer season, we come out of there, don't come back until September, but that's where a bulk of our shows go. So I'm going to say two to three a month. Typically.
Okay. Marcus?
Okay, you said you had Bushwhacker Luke, and I know you had Scott Steiner this past year. Who else have you booked on the big names?
We've had Boogeyman, we've had Godfather, we've had several. We've had Johnny Swinger in there. Of course, we've had Amazing Maria, Hollywood Haley J. She just done that big slap contest in Vegas, and I laugh about that because everybody thought that she's going to get rung up, and I knew she wasn't going to get rung up. She rung that old girl up hard. If y'all haven't seen it, you need to go look it up. It's great. So, but multiple things, multiple people we've had, and we've got. I can't announce it yet. November 8th, we're doing a fundraiser for Metcalfe County Metcalfe County boys basketball team in Edmonton, Kentucky, and I've got a very special guest coming in there, and it's going to be a big deal. I can't announce it yet due to the contract situation. I'll just say that he's still tied to TV, not as much wrestling anymore, but it's TV, yes. And he'll be coming in November 8th, and we haven't exactly. I think he's going to end up probably wanting a title shot to somebody, but we'll see how that works out. I'm not too keen on giving him a title shot against Reverend Ronnie Roberts. I'll just put that out there right now. Ronnie's a phenomenal guy. He's a great guy. And of course, I manage Ronnie, and he won the Triple Crown Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, and a lot of people just doesn't deserve to be able to just challenge Mr. Roberts for that. I might give the guy a shot at the All-American title, maybe the TV title. I don't know yet.
Okay, Warren.
All right, without giving away all your secrets, how do you handle wrestling, politics, and egos?
Well, so I'm in three businesses that literally is the same three businesses. It just switches the main person. So I'm a sales manager in the car business. So your salesman is the same guy, and then you got the politicians. They're the same guy, and then you got the wrestler, the same guy. And so I'm all the time having to deal with it. It's just how you sell them. And it doesn't matter. It's always a promotion. It's always something. You got to get people bought in. I don't care whether you're a salesman, a politician, or a wrestler. You've got to get people bought into what you got. And if you can't sell yourself, you're just going down the road doing nothing, and nobody's going to buy. That's just how it is. So the policy, how to handle it, I got a pretty good locker room for the most part. We don't have a lot of craziness going on. Of course, other than like me and Ronnie, people despise us, but that's about it. But who cares? I'm the promoter. And long story short, we don't have much problem.
For me, best part of being a wrestling promoter.
The best part?
Yep, for you.
Well, if you'd asked me this in 2000, I'd been like, I hate every bit of it. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm crazy for getting back in it. But as it goes on, I'm reconnecting with some people I haven't been around in a long time. Me and Terry, we've become great friends again. I hadn't talked to him for 16 years, I guess, and now I talk to him about every night or every other night at least. So reconnecting, that's probably one of my favorite parts of it. And, being able to run the show the way that I see that it needs to run, and seeing it grow the way that it has. And some of my favorite things is whenever I take somebody that nobody ever thought had a chance of ever doing anything, and had been misused by other organizations because they didn't know where to go with them, and that person of it. One I'll just name right off the bat. Chris, Marcus, he's in Chris. Sometimes you've probably seen him at the worst. Now he's back. Chris is always wrong. He's done very well, and he's kind of my the shining star, if you will, of advancement. I don't think we got him in the main event yet, but he's solid. He's doing some stuff that he ain't never done in his previous time with the other organizations, and he's loving every moment of it. The guy is a diamond in the rough, we'll just say. And it took him coming to Triple Crown Wrestling to actually see that. Now other people's wanting to book him all the time. Like, I had to tell him, like, Chris, and he's always put my dates before everybody, so I'll give him credit for that. But you can't beat a guy like that. And he's just one of multiples of them. I mean, I can keep naming them, but that's a good part of the business.
Okay. Chris?
You just mentioned like with that guy there, other promotions wanting to book him. I know you hear stories about promoters not wanting their talent working for other promoters and stuff like that. Have you ran into that problem where, like, if you're trying to book a talent where another promoter don't want to work for you, or have you had to deal with anything like that?
Well, starting out, I did, but most people is okay with people coming to my events now, working for me, because I'm pretty solid with most stuff. People trust me in what they're doing. I myself, I don't have a huge problem with my guys going working other places, just as long as they're not doing stupid crap. And that's where I kind of draw the line at it. I was like, because I don't care where they go, but it's their own name. I mean, if they destroy their name and I can't do nothing with them, they know I just can't book them anymore. It isn't that I'm saying you can't work for this person. It's that it's best that you might want to weigh it out whether you want to work for that person. I want my guys to work for multiple people because, I mean, there's just so many people out there to work for right now. And Lord, if they can make a career out of just traveling up and down the road and being happy in wrestling, I'm all for it. And I'm not a selfish guy like that. Some people are, though, very much so. And they almost get cultish sometimes like that. There's an organization near me. I'm not going to mention their name, but Lord, it's like they got some inbreeding going on down there, man. It's we've used one or two of their guys, and I was like, well, y'all are all right. Let's keep using you. And then next thing I know, the promoter's snapping them down and saying, hey, don't you ever go back to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, they're like, but we really want to come. And I'm like, well, you do whatever you want, but I'm not going to get in a fight with that guy just to book you if you're not willing to tell him, hey, this is how it's going to work. But I mean, it's just a mess they've got going on down there. And, but they're one of the few organizations I won't use any of their people. I won't even use the refs anymore because they have the refs wrestling now and then going out and turning around and reffing a match. And it isn't like a gimmick thing. It's like literal, well, I wrestled this match, I'm going to ref the next one. And it just doesn't make sense to me,
Yep.
Marcus,
so that's
final two questions.
Oh, I knew you'd do that to me. All right, well, let me pick the one I got to pick because my last one's always the same. Okay. I've been to, I think, 4 of your shows. It seems like all your shows are 5 matches. It seems like 5 matches is your standard. How do you balance a show with the 5 matches that you use?
Well, Marcus, you haven't been by in a while. I've actually went to. Hold on, everybody, clutch the pearls real fast, okay? Because I'm about to say something here that people's like, "Oh my gosh, how you get by with that?" Get ready. My standard show now is 4 matches,
Okay. And how do you balance
and
it?
I balance it. I bring quality talent in. I don't bore people to death. I hate intermissions. So I give them 4 quality matches. I mean, I've always heard number 2 spot is the what was they call it, the popcorn match. Well, I don't want no popcorn match. I want a good quality match. Why have that? Why do I need to pay somebody to come in just to have a throwaway match? And so I bring in 4 quality matches now, and it seems to be going over well. Once again, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not too big on the new product. I mean, I'm not trying to knock it, but it's just not my cup of tea. I like the 80s and early 90s wrestling. But it's hard for me to sit for 3 hours to watch a show. You know, after an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours, I'm already sitting there looking at my watch saying, hey, man, it's time to go, you know. And I think on the independent level, I really think that's where most people are right now. We don't want to sit there and take up their entire time. We want to get them in there and give them some good quality stuff. And I'm not saying that these matches are lasting 5 and 8 minutes. You know, I'm talking like most of my average matches between probably on average at least 18 to 20 minutes per match, roughly. I mean, that's average. Because sometimes I'll have a 25 to 30 minute match, and sometimes we'll have the 10 to 12s. It just depends, but it's not usual. But we balance it out pretty well, and I limit the intermissions. I'm starting to, in between the matches, telling everybody, hey, get your popcorn, whatever, as we're sitting there getting ready for the next match, because once again, I don't think everybody wants to be in there all night, and it seems like it's working pretty well.
Yeah, I like that because you some of these shows we go to, you see where
Yeah.
they'll lose a lot of fans at intermission time because the intermission is so long. Or I've also been to shows where there's 18 matches on a show as well, and then I mean, like you said, after a 4-hour show, everybody's wore out.
Dude, I've been to shows like we went to, and I'm an NWA fan, okay? But I went to NWA 73, and I loved the entire show. But it was so long, and I was ready to get out of there. We went to Ric Flair's last match, and oh my gosh, was in there forever. And it was a good show. I'm not knocking the show. It was just the timing of it. It could have done with 3 to 4 less matches. And so I try to keep the card concise and just to the point. And the reason why I start looking into that, I'm very efficient with what I do. I don't care whether it's politics, cars, wrestling, whatever. I try to be as efficient as I can. And I started seeing after every intermission, you was losing between 5 and 10% of your audience because they'd go out and smoke, but they wouldn't come back. And I didn't like. I first thought maybe it's the product. Maybe it's the product, and so I started changing. And you know it whatever. But then I started doing a little bit of polling and things like that, just talking to people, having some of my people to talk to people about it, and it always come back down to, yeah, we got to get up in the morning, we got to go to work, we got to get the kids in bed, we got to do. It was always something with time, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I'm sitting there just weighing it out because, like, the main event, we'd always maybe try to sandwich intermission between the semi-main and the main. But I started looking, the semi-main, people would really enjoy the semi-main, and sometimes it is almost like they felt that it was the main event, and then after we go to intermission, they just get up and leave. And some, I mean, I had people leave. We had Bushwhacker there, and the way we done that intermission, I'm going to pull off the side of the road because I'm about to lose signal up here down the road, so I better pull off. But we had Bushwhacker in the main event, first time he had wrestled in the state of Kentucky in 25 years. And he had you know, we'd build it. Everybody come got his autograph and all that. They want the meet and greet and stuff. But, you know, we took that intermission, and I realized then that was part of the problem right there, is that we was giving people the option to go in because of time. So I cut out intermissions. Like, I only do them if I'm specifically asked to do it by the people buying the show. We done Gonzo'S up in Louisville back in August, and they wanted 3 intermissions. They got 7 matches, and I told them, like, guys, I don't think you need 7 matches. Of course, they was paying for it, and they said, well, we want 3 intermissions. Like, you're gonna kill yourself with 3 intermissions. Well, they ended up taking the intermissions. We got through intermission 2, and they start realizing what I was talking about, and then they said, can you eliminate the 3rd one? I was like, I sure can, and we did. And it ended up being a pretty good show. So yeah, it's just, I think you lose a big percentage of you people with intermissions if it's not handled the right way. If you got something going on during intermission, some fluff, yeah, you're probably all right. But on the independent circuit, trying to get the right people to be the excitement people during intermission, it's very tough getting that person.
Warren?
All right. What makes Kentucky wrestling different from wrestling in any other state?
We have a commission, for one. You got to be licensed. You got to be a licensed promoter. So in essence, you technically got to be trained. Now, I stress that word trained a lot, because there's once again, you got some of these organizations that want to float people through like stamping mills, and that's the biggest problem I have, and that ain't nothing on the commission. The commission does a fine job. I'm very happy with the commission. The commission several years ago was ridiculous, to be honest with you, but our current commissioner and the Kentucky Athletic Commission, they're easy to work with, very easy to work with. Now, you can't get up there acting like a bunch of craziness and madmen. And if you remember, the state of Kentucky, we didn't have any main shows coming in for 20 years, give or take. And then Governor Bevin, he was the guy that actually brought WWE back in to the fold. Talked him into working with the athletic commission, getting things done the right way. So that was a plus, and they've been coming back since. But they didn't want to deal with the athletic commission in Kentucky. At the time, it was just ridiculous. But some of the worst situations we have in Kentucky, what makes it different from other states, other states don't.
Sound.
Out there.
Oh, there you go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. A call come in. I had to hit the exit button. But you have the wild, wild west of wrestling with some of these states. Like any and everybody just thinks that they just can watch it on TV and jump in the ring and be done. Think they can do whatever. And that's just like, you might as well go out here, give your 15-year-old kid the keys to your car without ever showing them how to drive. And that's the point I try to make to many, many people. But let's herd them through like cattle. Let's say they're trained. They train one day, and then they think that they're the greatest in the world. And so many people they injure themselves like that. And it's just not good. It's not safe, and it's just something I don't want on my show. And we got that organization just down the road from us. He's got them drinking the Kool-Aid down there. He thinks he can train them, but he never was properly trained himself. So we'll just leave it at that. So.
My question is, what about a new promoter?
I didn't hear your question.
What advice would you have for a new promoter?
I still didn't hear your question.
Okay. What advice would you have for a new promoter?
You're cutting out. You're cutting out.
I think I got the question though. What advice would I have for new promoters? Well, the biggest advice I'd have for any promoters, if they've got out, come back in or whatever, make sure you keep the product the way it should be, and don't fall into some of these pitfalls that a lot of people fall into, and just try to use talent just because that's what you have. Set yourself to a higher standard. And very new promoters, it costs money. It costs money to run a wrestling company. It really does. And if you ain't got the money to pay the guys, if you ain't got the money to run a show, you ain't got money to pay the taxes to the athletic commission, don't put out a product just to say you've got a wrestling company, that you can set up a ring, that you can do whatever. I mean, that's what makes professional wrestling different from other things, is that you kind of have to be professional about it. So make sure your equipment looks good. Make sure your equipment's safe. Make sure your show looks good. Make sure you first. The biggest thing is try to group yourself up with some people that actually know what they're doing. Get some of these old promoters to come in and help you out, talk you through it, and don't be more of a burden onto them. I don't think I've been a burden on Jimmy and Terry that much. I mean, I'm one of the few guys that know how to sit down and shut up and listen. Some guys just don't understand that concept, but you can see the difference too. So taking advice, learning advice from people, just taking their advice and saying, hey, I want to learn how to properly promote a town. Because well, Marcus probably said in Kentucky, you've been to a lot of the organizations, and I'm not putting you on the spot, Marcus. I'm not going to make you answer this question. But, I think there's 31 promoters in the state of Kentucky. Okay. And not every one of them needs to be promoters. They need to go home and really think about what they're doing, because they're hurting the wrestling business more than they're helping it. And it's free enterprise. I'm not telling everybody they jump out because I don't want you in the business. That ain't what it is. It's just that have a good game plan to come in the business and help the business, instead of just running, shooting your pistols off, saying, "Oh, I got a wrestling company. Look what I can do." People don't print posters. They don't go flyer. They don't promote on Facebook. They social media. They don't try to do any of that. And they literally just go set up a ring and as I call it, they have a live fantasy booking's what they've got, is what they're booking for themselves and not the fans. One of my favorite things that some wrestlers will do, especially the ones that aren't very professional, they'll jump back through that curtain, and the first words out of their mouth, they're asking their buddies, well, how'd that look? And it doesn't matter what's going on. You hear crickets chirping. There's nothing. Or you don't hear nothing. You don't hear people booing you. You don't hear people cheering for you. And my first question is, if you can't hear what they're saying, why does it matter what your buddy's saying over here? And some people just don't get that. And I'm not saying my guys are like that. I'm just saying, well, some of my guys are like that, but I just don't use them anymore for that reason. They just have never got over it.
Yes. How do you decide what match you're going to open up a show with, and maybe like what the main event is going to be? What goes into deciding how you're going to open the show?
I literally flip a coin. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. No. I like to build a card. Like I like to build, like, it's like music. Okay. I know a guy, his name Eddie Pennington. He's a big bluegrass player over in Western Kentucky. He's a pretty famous guy, actually. He's done the Sega bass fishing theme. He's got a daggone festival named after him. Eddie's a great guy. But anyway, so I was sitting there listening to play one time. Me and Neil James was, and Eddie was sitting here playing. It was like the notes he was playing just kept layering on each other. And I've got a point to this. I just get descriptive sometimes, but it just kept it sounded like it's building and building and building. All right, so I don't see why you do a wrestling show any differently. You need to put your first match up there that you think's going to get people motivated. And that's why I cut out the second match with the dead spot match. I don't want a dead spot match. I want another match that's going to layer on top of that. That's going to get these people excited and build in. And then I want another match on top of that and one on top of that. That's why I do 4 matches. Now, if I have to do 5 or 6 matches, so be it. But I keep wanting to layer them on top, and they have to make sense. I'm not a big fan of putting your title matches on number 1 unless it makes sense. Like if I was to put my TV champion on number 1, there's a reason why I got him on number 1, because I know he's going to grab the crowd and bring them in for number 2, and you just keep building to it. But I've seen some people just throw stuff at the wall and they say, well, this is just what it is. I never understood that mindset of booking. So you have to layer it.
Marcus, another question.
Yeah.
My last question is a funny story. We want a funny story. And you don't have to PG it, because Lord knows you Kentucky people really know how to tell a funny story. So you've got a high bar to go towards.
Yeah, last couple of weeks have been pretty interesting.
Oh, us Kentuckians, I tell you, we do have some stories, and we know how to tell them too. But the good thing about it is most of it's true. It's just maybe embellished sometimes a little bit. So my wife, she's from Northern Kentucky and I'm from Southern Kentucky. It's different, and she's just starting to acclimate herself down here. Marcus has met her, and she's a saint. I'll tell you that. But I don't know what kind of story you want. Are you wanting a wrestling story? You want a Kentucky story? You want a Kentucky wrestling story? You want a political story? What do you want?
Tell us a funny story that you've experienced in your wrestling career, either witnessed it or it happened to you.
Oh, Lord. Let's see. I better get the disclaimers out. Now, you know, one that I tell quite a bit, and it's actually a recent story. I'll tell you two brief ones, okay? Well, they're not brief. Anytime I want to teach y'all something. Anytime in Kentucky and tell you something going to be brief, prepare yourself, okay? Because it's not. I had to plug my phone up. It's getting low. So, my wrestling story. We was coming back from Western Kentucky, and I think Marcus has heard this story, but I'm going to tell it because it's a good one. So, Terry England never does anything wrong. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all that. If y'all haven't met Terry England, trust me, you'll probably meet him. He might end up. I'll put this to you. Y'all need to get Terry on your podcast. He's like me. He don't do too many podcasts. I think y'all are my second one I've ever done for wrestling, maybe third. I've done one for some goofy guy when I first got into business, and once again, that's a part of the problem. But anyway,
his name wasn't Walt, was it? Never mind. That's a funny up here.
Damn, Marcus.
Oh my gosh! No, we'll talk about it some other time. I guarantee you, we'll talk about it private. I try not to throw people on the bus too much, but anyway, so Terry, we're coming back from Western Kentucky, and we literally come out the venue and we pull off the road, and he's getting the banners up. He's driving my ring trailer, and he pulls over the 5-star across the road. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, he's probably going to get gas or whatever. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And so he goes and mills around in 5-star for a little bit. And then he comes back out, and I didn't think nothing about it. I thought, everything's fine. So we decide we're going to eat down the road. All right. So we get to driving, and I'm riding in the vehicle ahead of him. And he calls me and he says, Brandon, whenever this thing hits the low gas light, how much further do I have until I run out of gas? And I was like, you better find a gas station, because this thing gets like 10, 12 miles a gallon. Best it's ever going to do. And I was like, you better find a gas station, because it's going to leave you stranded, I promise. Well, I was like, has the gas light come on? He's like, no, it ain't coming on yet, but it's down there low, which I found out it did come on. He just didn't tell me. And so we're in the middle of nowhere. And so he ends up calling me back like a minute later. He's like, yeah, it's run out of gas. I'm pulling off on this exit here. And we get over there. And you have to remember, we was at a gas station not long before that. He had the opportunity to get gas, okay, and he just did not. So I get on the old Google looking for gas stations, and the next one was about 11 miles down the road. So we pull off on that exit, and at the end of the exit, there's a Dollar General. Nothing else on this exit that's even open other than a Dollar General. And there's no gas station. So I'm like, well, crap, we're going to have to go get a gas can and go up 10, 12 miles. This is late at night, too. I had to work next morning, and we're way out in Kentucky. So we're sitting, so I get the Dollar General, and I think I'm going to just walk in and grab me a gas can. So we walk in, me and Joe Monroe, y'all know Joe, and Kevin Sinclair. We're all riding together. And we walk in this Dollar General, and there's no gas cans whatsoever, zero. And Joe looks like he's about to go into a fit of some type, and he's like stressed. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? He looked like Chicken Little running around, the sky's falling. You should have seen him. And Kevin, he wasn't much better off. He handled a little bit better than Joe, but I was like, it ain't nothing. And so I go and I get a 3-gallon mop bucket. It's the only thing they had, man. A 3-gallon mop bucket. And I didn't have a funnel. They was out of funnels too. So I went over the housewares and I found some funnels. So I mean, this is ridiculous. It was stupid. So I ended up buying that and some funnels. And we walk up to pay for them. And I asked the cashier, I was like, "Yeah, what's the closest gas station?" It's shown on the Google that it's about 11 miles. I was like, well, yeah, that's probably true, but there's actually a gas station right over here. They're closed, but they'll let you pump, I think, $40 or $30 worth of gas by your card. And it was like dark. I mean, no lights on or anything. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, oh, yeah, I do it all the time. So we drive over as that mop bucket, 3-gallon mop bucket, and that funnel. And we go over to the gas station. I pump about 2 3/4 gallons in this daggone mop bucket. And it does not have a top to it, okay? A zero top. And we're in Kevin's vehicle. Kevin's stressing out because he thinks it's going to spill everywhere. And I was going to be danged if I was going to hold it. I paid for it, okay? And I thought of the bucket and the funnel anyway. So Joe got elected to hold the bucket. So Joe had to hold it in between his legs. And we had to keep the windows down. I mean, Lord, it was pretty daggone strong. And Kevin's trying to be the legal guy. He's a former military guy. He has to do everything by the book. So we get to pull out of a gas station, and he keeps going a little faster. I'm like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, well, I'm going to get on the parkway here, and I'm going to drive down and come back. I was like, the hell you are? I was like, you drive up that ramp backwards. I mean, this is like light, nobody around. And he's like, I can't do that. So he starts like getting like edgy about it. I'm like, you'll be fine. I was like, if it makes you feel better, back up the daggone thing for all I care. So I talk him into driving it backwards up the daggone ramp. And there's Terry. He grinning like the cat that ate the canary. He knew he'd messed up because Terry never messes up. Y'all just realize that. He never messes up. And I get out, and he's grinning real big because he knew I was going to tell this story. He knew I was going to tell this story to everybody, and it is still the funniest story to tell to everybody. But so I get out, and he thinks I'm going to start pouring this gas in this daggone truck. I was like, oh, no, you're the one that run out of gas. So you're the one's going to pour it in. You should have seen it. I took some pictures and stuff. I end up actually going to making little stickers. Marcus probably seen them. I call him the 5-star superstar, Terry England now. And I literally took the 5-star emblem and changed out 5-star and put Terry England at the bottom of it. So every time I get a chance, I'll slap one on his truck or whatever. Oh, he gets so mad at me. But anyway, so we run out of gas that day. And I'll tell this a little quicker because I know y'all might have to go. But it involved Joe Monroe once again. And Joe will probably tell me about or kill me by telling this story. So he had this.
Before you do, I talked to Joe on Saturday, and I told him, well, the rest of the personality podcasts are going well. I said, we got Brandon on. He says, well, hang on, I'll show you Brandon's personality. And
Oh my God.
he sent me a picture of this rock. He says, and you can tell him that too if you want. It's like, so since you said brought him up, I went ahead and said it. So
there you go. Well, I'll tell you another on Joe real fast. He made this walrus picture of me, and he called it Brandon T. Walrus, and he thought he was going to make fun of me with it, but I went and got a bunch of them printed, and I sold the crap out of them. I sold them for $5 a piece, and these little kids come up to the crowd holding them up. They'll dig the eyes out of them, put them on their face, and because they hate me, man, and I understand. That's fine. But so I turned it back on him. He thought he was going to get one over on me. I ended up making money off his idea. But Joe, he decided to come. He could decide to come to the show one day, and he brought a dad and a son. The son wasn't even old enough to wrestle yet, so he couldn't even be in the barricade. So they had this big thing worked out where they was going to do all this craziness. The only thing they're supposed to do is a few little promo shots and all that. Well, next thing I know, they have this whole angle worked out and at intermission. And I hit the roof because it was just ridiculous. And I love Joe to death. I love him to death. I swear I do. But you have to smack him every now and then. And that's what he ended up getting. So it made me so mad. I threw my clipboard at him. And I was like, you just do whatever the heck you want, Joe. And because they didn't ask. And I'd probably worked with them and fine-tuned a little bit. But they didn't ask anything about it. They didn't ask permission to do it or anything. They just decided they was going to do it at intermission. And I love Joe for everything that he does other than this one spot. But he learned a lesson here. And so he ends up getting beat up at ringside. And so I'm sitting here seeing all this crap draw out, and it just wasn't going anywhere. So the next match we was going to be in, I ended up, finally I said, heck with it, play my guys' music, and they play it. Well, the other two guys, they knew I was mad, so they left. They exited ringside pretty fast, and me and Tony come out, and Joe, the refs and the security is helping him back, and he sees me, and I'm pretty mad, and I shouldn't have done this. But he looks up at me trying to still work the angle, and he points up to me like, this was you. And dude, the first thing I done, I just smacked the piss out of him. And I mean, I go back on the video, it looked like Vader smacking the pee out of somebody. I hit him, like I probably shouldn't have hit him as hard as I did. I feel bad for it, I really do. But he deserved every bit of it. But something with Joe all the time. I aggravate him a lot. But Joe is a very good learner. I'll say that. I just had to smack the piss out of him one time, and he learned from it. And I might have to do it next week too for him to learn something, but who knows? But he's a good guy to have around. He really is. So that's my Joe story too. Sorry for all the length of these things, but
Okay.
Mine's actually short, simple, and easy. I know you say you don't want to watch the new product, but I think this might go back enough. Are you an NWO guy, or are you a degenerate?
Oh, NWO, 1,000%. Generation X is great. It is great. I'm not gonna knock it. That's the time period that I was still watching it. And I remember sitting, like we'd be watching WWF in the bedroom, and we'd be watching NWA, WCW in the living room, and we'd go back and forth. Hey, guys, I don't know how old y'all are. Marcus probably remembers this, but y'all can't watch the Monday Night Wars like we did. I mean, you'd literally have to set it up, and it would be a task for y'all to watch it the way we did. And y'all missed out on it, and I hate it because it was Monday night was Monday night. It was a big deal. I mean, we watched leading up to wrestling. We was watching USA. We was watching Highlander, Xena, a Warrior Princess.
The last 5 years to watch the Texas Ranger.
Yes, there you go. See,
I say we're old enough to we know all this.
Oh, yeah.
Good, but this generation, they missed out on something very special, and people, I love the 80s wrestling, but that time period from like 96 to about 98, 99, 98, 99, it was just so unique. I don't think anybody's ever going to be able to replicate it, especially the way that everything's on the internet now. It's just at your fingertips if you want to see it. We actually had to put some effort in on it. I remember having Monday night watch parties, just having people over, having a good time. We'd grill out, we'd cook, we'd do all kinds of stuff. Not that it's a big event, but Monday we knew what we was doing. And everybody at that time period was wrestling fans. It was the biggest time for wrestling, in my opinion. You had doctors, lawyers, church people. Everybody loved wrestling. It touched everybody, and you can't even match that up now. There's no matching it. So yes, NWO without a doubt. Of course, I was a Four Horsemen fan.
Yes.
Always will be.
Oh yeah.
Favorite wrestling match you've seen
The favorite wrestling match that I've seen lately?
live?
Live.
Oh, live. That's a toughie. I once again, you might judge me for this, but and some people do because they didn't understand the gimmick behind it, and they could have done it a little bit differently, but I really enjoyed it. But WCW Uncensored, I think it's 98, 99, 99 maybe, Louisville Gardens, Louisville, Kentucky. Ric Flair won his 13th heavyweight title, breaking the record. He done it in Louisville, Kentucky. The cage match versus Hogan, the barbed wire first blood match. It's where Charles Robinson didn't call the first blood. Flair's the first person to bleed, and then Hogan, blah, blah, blah. There's all kind of screwy going on. But Charles Robinson was the true star of that match, not Ric Flair, not Hulk Hogan. Charles Robinson was the true star of that match, and I'll tell you why, because he still made people, I remember being at that show, he still made people believe that he was unbiased ref in that match. He made everybody believe that. If y'all go watch it again, go watch it. If you haven't done, it's a good show start to finish, but that main event was probably my favorite live match I ever watched on that level. And then, of course, you had Arn Anderson coming out, shoving the tire iron. But Louisville, Kentucky was trying to turn Hogan face at that, like, live there. I had never seen anything like it. It was like Flair was the clear baby face at that time because you had the NWO shenanigans going on. But Hogan was going baby face in the middle of the match, and Flair was going heel in the middle of the match, and Charles Robinson had kind of hold everything together. There's just so many elements working in that match. It could have went either way, and I think that's part of some of the screwy writing they had. It was an accidental success, in my opinion, because right after that's whenever Little Nate come aboard, whenever Charles Robinson come out, start wearing the robe, dude, I love that. I love the Charles Robinson thing. But that's probably my favorite live match as far as that level. I recently my favorite independent match, and there's just so many of them. Charles Colton, like that guy. Like, I can't say enough about Charles, man. He has put the time in this last year, and he has showed me a lot of great matches. But I'm going to tell you, last year or the year before, maybe, Chris Matthews and Tyler Lee Deputy, man, we had like 4 or 5 matches with those guys, and gosh, man, that was great. And of course, Izzy Vaden and Ronnie Roberts recently. Izzy drop kicking me up at the Cozaires show, just about killing me. But I tell you, him and Ronnie, they go so well together. Of course, Chris Michaels and Ronnie Roberts. We just have so many great talents here in Kentucky. Well, in Tennessee, they come from everywhere, all this area. I can't claim them all of being Kentuckians. I wish I could, but they're not. I mean, Charles is up in Indiana now. I mean, he's an Indianian, and so I can't claim him as a Kentuckian, but gosh, man, these guys are just putting in some great matches. And so on the independent, I guess that's why I get so excited talking about the independents being, kind of the bread and butter to me, because you still see professional wrestling. You don't see sports entertainment anymore. You see professional wrestling, and there is a difference. And I'm not knocking their product. That's the deal there. I'm not knocking the product because they're putting on a different product than everybody else is. So
Yeah.
All right. What I do with my last question is give you an opportunity to promote yourself. Basically, let people know where they can find your shows at, what upcoming shows, any of that good stuff.
yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys for having me on. But we got October 3rd. That's Friday, October 3rd, at the McCreary Fest in Whitley City, Kentucky, 7:05 bell time. That's this coming Friday. Then Saturday, we return to Ferguson that very next day, October 4th at 7:05. All these are Eastern times. Then November 1st, we'll be back in Ferguson at 7:05. And then we'll be at the Metcalfe County High School November 8th at 7:05 Central Time in Edmonton, Kentucky. That's where we're going to have our big special guest. It's fundraiser for the school. So if y'all can come out to it, I know everybody appreciate it. It's a good deal. We helped with it last year, and it ended up dropping in our lap this year. So we'll have that coming on, and then December. I think December 1st. It's that first Saturday. Good rule of thumb: first Saturday in Ferguson most of the time, all the way through September through April. We also got. I don't know if I'm supposed to actually be promoting these without them being on the calendar, but I think I can, maybe. I don't know. But February 26th, we'll be back in Campbellsville at the Campbellsville University, 7:05 Eastern Time. That's always a good show. That's not open to the public, though, but if I have staff there helping out, which I do, shift out commentators from time to time. If y'all want to help out, y'all are more than welcome to. And we got Gonzo'S August of next year. Again, that's a huge deal. Marcus, that's pretty close to you, I'm thinking. I think you was planning on coming to that show this year, but you ended up getting tied up doing something else. And but you need to make it next year, man. You need to make it. It's a good show. But without rambling out every date that I have, we do so many shows. I don't want to bore y'all with that. Just keep an eye on triplecrownwrestling.com, our Facebook page, Triple Crown Wrestling, Twitter. What is it? It ain't called Twitter anymore. It's called X. I'm sorry. Instagram, and I think that's all that I have on my social media. I haven't figured out the TikTok yet. My wife's tried to teach me, and I think it's just too much.
Yeah, I don't know that either. Hey, YouTube. I forgot you can look at some of our old shows, and we're about to drop some new ones too. Yes. Well, we appreciate you coming on tonight.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Is the YouTube Triple Crown Wrestling?
Yes, it's Triple Crown Wrestling also. You're going to see a little bit of older stuff. I'm trying to get a good mix of how to plan out the shows, like dropping them better, because I still want people to come to my shows. And I think if you give everything for free, they just won't show up. That's just the way I think. So I'm going to start getting back into dropping them the week before the event. So typically you'll be able to watch them on that Sunday or Monday, the week before the next show.
Okay.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on.
What's that?
Again, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Yes, thank you.
guys, I appreciate y'all having me. It's been a great time, and y'all holler if y'all ever need anything.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
Y'all too. Thanks, guys.
Yep. All right, guys. I thought that went real well.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. In-depth stories. Love them. Love them.
Oh yeah.
I'm still trying to. I'm almost thinking, we got Kentucky hillbillies there filling mop buckets with gasoline.
Well, and it's also nice to hear a perspective from like a promoter, because most of the time we're talking to just wrestlers. I mean, we've had a couple other promoters on, but for most of the time it's wrestlers. So seeing it from a little bit of a different angle, was interesting.
I'm just imagining holding that bucket of gas. Like how many?
You wait till I talk to Joe Monroe next time too. It's like, we heard about the gas in the mop bucket.
Well, we appreciate everybody watching tonight. And hopefully we'll see everybody soon. We've got a big show Thursday night on Face or Heel Pro Wrestling. Check that out Thursdays at 8. And we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram on Gonzo Sports Room as well. And we will see you guys next Monday.
Go Lions!
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.